Today's focus, the magical world of 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. These special angles are the celebrities of trigonometry. They get exact values, show up in unit circles, and appear on tests and final exams. We'll also explore how to tame any multiple of these angles around the circle using a reference angle and a little cast magic. This table of values is much easier to build than you might think. All you have to do is memorize the sine column like you'd memorize your Wi-Fi password. The cosine values are the same as sine, but in reverse order. Tangent is sine over cosine, and the other three are reciprocals of sine, cosine, and tangent. Being able to build this table makes you a special angle specialist. Another way of memorizing these exact values is through special triangles. The first one is an isosceles right triangle and the second one is an equilateral one. You can figure out all these exact values through Pythagoras and SOHCAHTOA. A reference angle is like the polite, well-behaved version of any given angle. Even if the original angle is wild and spinning like crazy around the circle, its reference angle is just a chill 30 degrees, 45 degrees, or 60 degrees. It's like every angle has a true simple self behind its scary persona. Reference angle formula breaks the mask and reveals the truth. This formula says, every angle has a chill alter ego, the reference angle, that knows the exact value. But whether that value comes with a positive vibe or a negative twist depends entirely on the quadrant it landed in. How to use it for tangent of a weird angle like minus 225 degrees. First you add 360 and figure out its coterminal with 135 degrees. So it's in the second quadrant. The reference for 135 degrees is 45 degrees and, according to CAST, tangent is negative in the second quadrant. So the answer is -1. We write CAST counterclockwise, starting in quadrant 4. Incidentally, counterclockwise is the positive trigonometric direction. It's the same direction our ancestors used while dancing around fires, and the same way Muslims circle the Kaaba during Hajj. Apparently, counterclockwise has always been the preferred direction for sacred ritualistic rotations, whether you're doing trigonometry or seeking divine approval. This is why the unit circle is so magical. When your radius is 1, cosine and sine become the actual coordinates of the point on the circle. Every angle corresponds to a point. If you know the coordinates of that point, you know the values of all trig functions for that angle. It's like the unit circle is a universal address book for angles. Every angle theta has a home, a point on the circle, and that home's address is just cosine theta, sine theta. Once you know where it lives, you know everything there is to know about it. These angles correspond to points on the axis. As a result, they are the easiest addresses in our universal address book. The coordinates are either 0, 1, or -1. Tangent blows up at 90 degrees and 270 degrees, because division by 0 is the gravest crime in math, punishable by an explosion to beyond infinity. This is the unit circle, and it's basically the universal address book for angles. Every commonly used angle has a fixed address right here. The y-coordinate is the sine of the angle. Because sine is shy, goes with y. And the x-coordinate is the cosine of the angle. It makes sense to memorize the addresses for 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. Because these are like your best friends. You visit them all the time. You don't want to look up their address every time. That's how you lose friends and points on the test. Parabello once gave a legendary series of lectures titled Sacred Devices of Mathematics. In these talks, he praised the elegance of the Venn diagram, the wisdom encoded in Pascal's triangle, and the revolutionary power of the Cartesian plane. But his heart clearly belonged to the unit circle. He said, "The unit circle is the divine compass of trigonometry. Learn it by heart and you shall never go astray." One particularly enthusiastic student, swept up by Parabello's passion, went to a tattoo parlor that same evening and got a full unit circle tattooed on his back, complete with all special angles in radian and coordinates. When Parabello saw the tattoo, he stood in stunned silence. Then, with trembling voice, he said, "You, my friend, are no longer a follower in the school of mathematics. You are a walking temple." And from that day forward, he referred to the student only as Saint Theta Maximus.